Good evening. I'd like to call to order the meeting of Monday, January the 24th. If you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. The clerk would please take the roll.
Councilmember Archibald.
Here.
Councilmember Ashford.
Present.
Councilmember Lamb.
Here.
Councilmember Mosherak.
Here.
Councilmember Pemberton.
Here.
Councilmember Ruiz. Mayor Rep.
Here. For the minutes from the regular meeting of January the 10th, is there a motion to receive and file?
So move, Madam Chair.
Support. Member Ashford, supported by Mayor Pro Tem Archibald. Is there any changes to the minutes? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The minutes will stand as submitted. We do have one public hearing tonight. The clerk would like to read it.
To receive comments on the general needs in community development, housing, and special services utilizing CDBG and home funds.
Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to address the council on this public hearing?
Madam Mayor and Council, I just want to note that we have begun engaging stakeholders, including the Community Foundation, the Port Huron Housing Commission, to review some workforce housing initiatives possible for the next year. I had a meeting today with Jim Dewey, I had a meeting today with Randy Myers, the foundation, as well as something we discussed at Blue Meets Green. So we're trying to take a more systems approach to community development, where it's not just what the city's doing, but how can we take the CDBG dollars and work with other organizations to maximize the benefit.
Thank you. Good idea. I see no one wanting to speak, so I will declare public hearings closed, and I will open it up for public comment. If there's anyone in the audience who wishes to address the City Council this evening, please come forward and give us your name, and you have 4 minutes. Seeing no one, I'll close public comment. We'll move on to resolutions. Number 1, please.
Authorizing the city manager and/or his designee on behalf of the city of Port Huron to take all actions and execute and/or record all documents necessary to form the McNeil Creek Crossing condominium project and to market and sell condominium units within the project.
Is there a motion?
So moved. Support.
Mayor Pro Tem Archibald, supported by Councilmember Ashford. Yes, Mr. Freed.
Madam Mayor and Council, so the condo documents were so that we could control the look and feel and characteristic of that neighborhood. Also with minimum square footages, we didn't want someone pulling in a double wide or something like that. David has worked very diligently with Al Francis and our legal team over the last several months to pull these documents together. And you've had them for your review since Thursday. From this point, it will get filed with the county, and then we will also submit them to the state of Michigan upon approval. I will say we've had a massive interest in these properties. This resolution also authorizes us to market and sell them. It is my goal to sell no more than 2 apiece. And the purchase agreements will allow them to have clawbacks. If they don't build within 6 months, we can claw them back at 7 months. I believe that's in the documents as well. We've had interest from very sophisticated builders, also to just individuals who wanted to buy a lot for themselves and they wanted to build a house for themselves and for their kids next door. They wanted to build 2 homes. So I do believe that we will sell these out pretty quickly.
Did somebody have a question? Oh, I thought you were.
What was the number on this? Was it, no, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Was it a 19?
Correct.
19. And the time frame, are you putting a time frame around this when we would like this to be completed?
My desire is that when the frost breaks, we have basements going in.
Wow, okay.
And the people who are inquiring and who are essentially on a waiting list wanting to buy, they fully understand that they must commence construction within 6 months.
Wow, okay.
So it's not something, and they can't transfer it. So we don't want, what I didn't want is I buy the lots, they sell out, and then I try to sell mine again for more money. So they can't do that. We can't have anyone speculating with these properties as well.
What do you think the value is going to be?
We're going to list them right around $20,000.
For the lot, house-wise, what do you think the houses?
Anywhere between $2 to $275.
Are we calling for any specifics as far as the?
Yes, in
construction?
fact, when they submit there's actually a design committee, so to maintain the characteristics of the neighborhood, so when they actually have a plan, it'll go before a design committee in-house that will review it to make sure it's with the characteristics of the neighborhood. We wanted to keep the square footage high enough where you wouldn't have like single wides or, ranches that didn't fit the neighborhood, but we also wanted to keep the square footage low enough where you could make it affordable. If you required 2,000 square feet, that's a lot of extra cost to build in 400 additional square feet. And so we wanted to make it very similar to the neighborhood.
Oh, okay, great.
Yes.
Just one thing, that side note, James, that I think is important. I've had a lot of feedback, people wanting to know what type of condos are going in here, and that's so that they understand that's the plat of land and how it's platted out. It's not actually, I've actually got a kind of an argument, for lack of better words. No, I read there's going to be condos there, but that's just the plat of land, and it is exactly.
Single-family homes.
Yeah.
Again, in the price point, we compared what buildable lots are going elsewhere right now. So there's some developments going on in Fort Gratiot, there's some developments going on in Kimball, and we want to compete. I want those homes built here, I want those people living here, not in Kimball, not in Fort Gratiot. So I pretty much called around and said, what are you guys selling your lots for? And that's what we're selling ours for.
Okay.
And we have better internet. It's true.
Nice. Any other questions? You can take the roll.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Ashford?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Mosrak?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Councilmember Ruiz?
Yes.
Mayor Rapp?
Yes. Moving on to item 2.
Accepting Gator Avenue into the city street system in accordance with Act 51, Public Act 1951 as amended.
Is there a motion?
So move.
Support.
Councilmember Lamb, supported by Councilmember Pemberton.
Madam Mayor and Council, just to recap, we had a new street come available. I was talking with the mayor, and the mayor said, I have an idea. We should engage the public. We should engage the kids in that neighborhood. And so at the mayor's request, we reached out to the school district. And I reached out to Theo. I said, hey, the mayor thinks that the kids at the elementary school should play a role in naming the neighborhood, the street. And Theo thought that was a grand idea. And next thing you know, there's a full-on election. There's an election day, there's election vote count, there's an election press conference. These kids really did it up big. The mayor got to unveil the winners. The top vote getter was Gator Ave. We did do a forensic audit of the election. It's inaccurate. And my vote was for pancake sprinkles, but whatever. Anyways, we have Theo here tonight as well. Thank you, Theo. It is nice when you can just shoot off a message and say, hey, we have a crazy idea, and they say, let's do it. So thank you, Mayor Rep, for your idea for public engagement, and thank you, Theo, for allowing us to do it.
Okay. Well, it was fun. Does anybody have any questions?
Nice job.
Take the roll.
Councilmember Ashford?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Mosrak?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Councilmember Ruiz? Yes. Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Mayor Rapp?
Yes, and before we continue, I have a little present for Theo. You want to come forward?
I'll get you ready to sell.
How this is going to work?
Oh, don't do that. Oh.
You're like, don't make that.
No,
Go
no.
under, not over.
Jesus.
Well, that's beautiful.
Actually, I didn't know if it was appropriate, so I will.
Here it is.
Careful, Pauline.
Oh, please.
I had a fallen over, so. Yeah, I didn't know if it was appropriate for me to thank you, but I do want to first thank the partnership with James and Pauline and Chief for all coming down for the presentation. The kids loved that you all were there and were able to participate. And while I'm up here about the partnership, really want to thank Port Huron Police for the active assailant training that we did for all 1,000 employees of our district. Chief and his team, I know James was involved too, just an incredible, sad that we had to do that, but just an incredible date, and their hard work in partnering with the Sheriff's Department as well made that happen. So that was great. This is great. We're very pleased with this, and we will it'll live for a long time in Garth, right? Our second oldest building, so thank you very much.
You're welcome. And we'll move on then to item 3.
Recommendation that the charges for Lakeside Cemetery be adjusted effective immediately.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Councilmember Pemberton, supported by Councilmember Moserak. Go ahead, Mr. Freed.
These original fees were set almost back in 1995 for the niches. They haven't really moved. We moved them $20 in 2016. The costs have held the same, but material costs are going up for the niches, for the bronze plaques, for just about everything. So this is something we only do to cover the cost. We don't really make a profit on these. We reinvest it into the cemeteries. And so this is a cost recovery. This is not a profit maker.
Any questions?
Yeah, I have a few.
Councilmember Ashford.
Yeah, as you said, there at least, I know we're not in here trying to make any money or anything, because at least 13 of them, we're no changes at all. But what I wanted to ask the question about is that we have one that, on that second page, the grave cremated remains in the ashes. It was going for free, and now it's at $350. Is that, how did you derive at that?
I can speak to that. So upon review of these fees, when the city provides the grave, and the city always provided the grave prior to 2014, but after that, when you go to put your headstone in, we did require you to pay the perpetual care, which is basically half price of the grave. And upon review of this, the difference between cremains and a full burial, there's really not that much of a difference.
Oh, okay.
In the end, by giving a grave with cremains, you are allowed to have 4 sets of cremains in there. And with a full burial, you can have the full burial and 2 sets of cremains in there. So to be fair, if the city is giving a grave at a reduced price, whether it's cremains or remains, the price should really still be the same. So that's just a little cleanup, I think, of something that we missed back in 2014.
And it's still balanced up to your rationale.
Correct, yes.
Okay, thank you. I just wondered, because you have a free, and then all of a sudden here's $350, and
Yeah.
it wasn't resonating in there.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions about the fees? We'll take the vote.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Councilmember Moserak?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Councilmember Ruiz?
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Ashford?
Yes.
Mayor Rep.
Yes. Item 4, please.
Confirming and approving single lot special assessments for fines, assessments, and/or the cost of removing blight, blighting factors, and/or the causes of blight, as well as the abatement of nuisances.
Is there a motion?
So moved. Support.
Mayor Pro Tem Archibald, supported by Councilmember Ashford. Is there any discussion? We'll take the vote.
Councilmember Moserak?
Yes.
Councilmember Pemberton?
Yes.
Councilmember Ruiz?
Yes.
Councilmember Archibald?
Yes.
Councilmember Ashford?
Yes.
Councilmember Lamb?
Yes.
Mayor Rep.
Yes. That concludes our regular agenda. We have a short meeting tonight. I'm sure everybody's happy about that, the weather. We do have one announcement, and that is that the special meeting of the council will be held next Monday, January 31st, to discuss possible priorities and goals for the 2022-23 fiscal year. And with that, we start at 5 o'clock. And if you could possibly, if you have anything that you'd like to put out there as a goal or priority, if you could give them in writing, just jot them and send them email, I guess, to Cindy. It would be much easier for them putting up a chart if she had it ahead of time and could put those items on there, as opposed to them trying to decipher what you've said at the meeting. So if there's a quick little one sentence or a few words that kind of summarizes what you might want to have, then at least she can put it on there already. Last year we had to submit them ahead of time because we had it virtually. So, and that worked out to be a better way of doing it. And then we could just go through it afterwards. So if you do have anything, please, by Friday, is that by the end of the day Friday, so that she has Monday during the day to, and before if you can, but by the end of the day for sure on Friday, if you can submit anything to Cindy, I'm sure she'd appreciate it.
I will.
Yes. So other than that, Silver Sticks was last weekend, and again, I believe this weekend coming up, so. And we have Chili Fest this weekend in our downtown, so that'll be nice. James, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, just note that the ARP funding that the mayor and council approved, a good chunk of some economic development funding went to the Chamber of Commerce to create a tourism and promotion committee with businesses from all over the city, many of them not chamber members. They have diligently been working. They engage third-party marketing consultants who specialize in regional marketing. They've launched exploreporthuron.com. I sent you guys that link earlier. They're beginning to populate that with like Chili Fest and Silver Sticks and things to do in our community. And they've launched their targeted marketing campaign towards Genesee County and Macomb County. And so for you who have friends and family in Genesee and Macomb, they'll start seeing Instagram ads, social media ads, and this is all part of their efforts. And Thelma will be here at your next meeting to give you a brief update on their efforts, but that did get launched. It's still a work in progress, but it's out.
Thank you. Anything else from anyone else? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Nothing, so moved.
Thank you. Meeting adjourned.